A portion of today's video is kindly sponsored by Factor. Well, hey friends, it's Natalie. So glad you stopped by to hang out with me today, or should I say tonight. Typically I don't film in the evenings because it's family time for us, but my family is not here. I was late at a doctor's appointment earlier, and when I got home, Weston had taken the kids to our midweek services at our church. And it's too late for me to leave, so I thought I would take this opportunity to wrap my kids' Christmas presents. While I am doing this Christmas present wrapping, I thought I would share with you a bit of a life update for me, for our family. There's some things that we went through this year, some highs, some lows, a lot of it completely off camera. It hasn't been the right time to talk about some stuff, but I feel like maybe that time is now. And so we're gonna chat along the way. I've got my grandma's cozy sweater on, some scissors, tape, ribbon, and some Christmas wrapping paper. Let me show you what I got. The kids and I have a fun tradition. Each year I take them to TJ Maxx, Marshall's, Home Goods, that type of store. And they pick out their own wrapping paper that I then wrap their gifts with that year. And it's so fun to see what they choose each year. Haley this year chose this kitty, wintry, Christmassy wrapping paper. That's totally Haley. Judah, this was not surprising. He loves animals, woodland creatures. This one was the surprising one. Liam saw this botanical winter berry and said, yep, that's the one for me. My 10-year-old son picked the Martha Stewart wrapping paper. This is wrapping paper I would pick. Love it. Great choice. 10 out of 10. Oh, and then I have to show you this. I'm not wrapping any of Weston's presents in this video, but the kids picked out the Grinch wrapping paper because Weston is our resident Grinch. I'm gonna finish pulling the stuff out that I'm going to be wrapping today and kind of getting my thoughts together here for a second. While I do that, thanks so much to Factor for sponsoring the next little bit of this video. You guys know Factor is my favorite, and no lie, before I sat down to film this video, I wolfed down a Factor meal in between my doctor's appointment and my Christmas gift wrapping. They make it so easy to have ready-to-heat meals at my disposal. They can be ready in as little as 2 minutes. They're never boring or bland. I've loved every Factor meal I've ever tried. They're chef-crafted, dietitian approved, fresh, never frozen meals delivered straight to your door. It's super easy to go on the app or the website. I get to choose from 35 different meals and 60 add-ons each week. And with that much variety, there's definitely something there for everyone. Even if you have dietary or lifestyle requirements like I do, they offer vegan and veggie options, low carb, high protein, and much more. And you can customize your order, add in extras, snacks, protein shakes, and even wellness juice shots. I've been working with Factor for almost 2 years now. I'm gonna actually work again with them all year next year. I'm so very grateful. And Factor meals have made a huge impact on my ability to fuel my mommy muscles, get enough protein and actual meals into my diet, and help me reach my nutrition and fitness goals. If you'd like to check out Factor and help support my channel in the process, then head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code NatalieB50 to get 50% off your first Factor box plus free shipping. That's code NatalieB50 at factor75.com to get 50% off your first Factor box plus free shipping. I said I had tape. It only had like 2 centimeters left on it. So I'm improvising. And I'm going to stick the wrapping paper together with hot glue. Okay, let's start with Liam. I suppose we can start at the last update I gave you, which was when I shared about my migraines that I get that returned after they had been gone for over 20 years. And when I say migraine, I don't mean just a bad headache. I mean loss of vision, numbness, slackness in one side of my body, loss of mobility, slurring speech. I've been evaluated multiple times for stroke symptoms. Thank goodness that's not what I'm dealing with. And the last migraine that I had, which was about a month ago, I made a connection. I have been getting cold sores on my lip since I was a little girl. And every single time I've had a migraine in this last year, this is the resurgence of them. I have had a cold sore either right before I get the migraine or it comes out right after I have a migraine. And I was doing a little bit of research about that to see if there is a link between HSV, which is the virus that causes cold sores, and migraine. And wouldn't you know it, there's a major link between the two situations. Thankfully, mine only appear on my mouth, and I've always been super careful with friends, loved ones, family members. I know it's very contagious, so I've always really tried to protect them. Okay, gift number 1, done. It's nice to have company while I'm doing this. I feel like now that we have found this link, we can get to the root cause of the situation and not just treat migraine symptoms, but rather go after the thing that's triggering the migraines, which we now believe to be HSV, which is so crazy because I have literally dealt with this ever since I can remember. And I don't know which well-meaning auntie or friend or someone gave me a hug or a kiss on my cheek or something while they had a cold sore, and this is where I am. But just an encouragement to you, if you get those things, to just be very careful. Okay, on to the next wrapping paper. This is for Judah. And on to the next chapter of the life update. I've talked about a couple of not so great health things, but otherwise I will say our family has been quite healthy. I'm so grateful for that. Here's that Minecraft Lego baby pig's birthday celebration Lego set. How cute is that? Judah loves animals so much. He loves pigs especially. We've had a few trips to the emergency room with our kids this year, and I keep a lot of that stuff private, but thank goodness for health insurance and tetanus shots. Family with a couple little boys who are not so little anymore, and it hurts a lot more now when they take falls or get scrapes and bumps and bruises. Something unexpected this year, of course, was the fact that we got our puppy. Opie is such a sweet, precious part of our family. He has been such a blessing to us. We were not considering getting a dog or a puppy. We just weren't there yet. But then when my grandma reached out after she came to the conclusion that she just health-wise, mobility-wise, was not able to care for him anymore, we just really felt like he was ours. And we already knew him and loved him. He's just so precious and sweet. She had already done some preliminary training with him, and so he was potty trained, house trained. We were able to work on some other things with him. It's been a huge, awesome learning experience for our kids. Haley went from being terrified of dogs, big and small, but she said, I'm okay with this, let's do it. I'll just need to keep my distance for a little while until I warm up to him. And warm up to him she did. Guess what? He sleeps in her room now, not in her bed. We haven't gone that far, but he has his own little bed and he's so good about going to it. She tucks him in every night. He sleeps through the night. She sleeps through the night with a cozy little buddy in there to keep her company. It's just a match made in heaven. It's so precious. So another praise report is the fact, and I've shared this before, that the boys chose this year to be baptized. Weston had the privilege of being the one to baptize them. He dunked them under the water, and it was so sweet and so special. It's not an age thing. In our beliefs or at our church, it's literally just a personal choice. And they were there. On the day the boys got baptized during that service, we experienced a reconciliation in our more extended family, like outside of our four walls, between family members who had not spoken for almost the entirety of Weston and my relationship. So this goes back almost 15 years. We will have been together for 15 years this coming March, married for 12 of those years. And we had been praying and working and seeking for that many years, for this particular peacemaking to happen. And it happened suddenly and unexpectedly. And if you would have told me a year ago at Christmas time that breakthrough would have happened by this Christmas time, I would have probably just fell to my knees and praised the Lord, which I have done since this huge happening in our life. And with that has come this sense of new beginning and restoration. And just for me personally, I can't speak to the other people involved in this situation, and I'm not going to give specifics about the situation because it's not fully my story to share. But it's like our life is starting. Like we're now able to start living. A verse that Weston and I have been repeating to ourselves for a decade and a half, and we actually had it part of our wedding, is Psalm 133, 1. Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. I'd like to find an art piece or a print of that text somewhere. I want that represented in our home. It's been near and dear and sort of just our mantra as we've been praying it over our family. And to watch this happen, it is quite possibly the biggest change that we experienced this year, and certainly the biggest thing in my life, bar none, that I have prayed about in my entire life. And to see sort of the end of that chapter was actually quite overwhelming at times, and I've had to kind of just step back and like breathe and be like, is this real? And just praise the Lord that it is. Okay, on to Haley, sweet little munchkin Haley. I actually have only a couple of things to wrap for her. Her main present is that American Girl doll horse that is not getting wrapped. I'm also not going to wrap any of the kids' rollerblades, so that's all still in there, but I'm going to wrap her perler bead sets. By the way, this whole hot glue gun method is low-key working for me here. I think it's way easier than like holding everything in place while you rip off a piece of tape. Typically I will like pre-rip tape, but then it sometimes folds on itself. I've got none of that going on. This may be the fastest I've ever wrapped presents. Like, look at how cute that scene is. Are they ice skating? That one looks like one of our cats. Oh, so sweet. Haley has, like I was saying with Opie, she has warmed up so much to animals. The other day, it was actually when we were in TJ Maxx picking out this wrapping paper, there was someone with a dog, a large like poodle mix or something, and she was so eager to pet this dog. That's another one of those situations. If you would have told me a year ago that my dog phobic child would actually have to be told by the dog's owner, wait a second, you have to ask permission first. This lady was really sweet and very kind with her boundary that she was setting with Haley and saying, you can't always pet everyone's dogs. And I appreciated that she was bold enough and still kind enough to give Haley that bit of instruction, because we've never had to instruct her on that. She's never wanted anything to do with any dog she's seen until she became a dog owner herself and loves this sweet puppy of ours, and she loves our cats, and now she'll pet them, and she never used to before. I think that might be, oh, throw burrito. This is the one for all three of them. There we go. The gift for all three of them. That's it as far as what I am wrapping. Weston did end up ordering Haley a locket. It's not here yet. He found one on Etsy that looks, I think like the face of the locket is identical to mine. So that's pretty cool. So that will go into her stocking. I still have to get the boys Minecraft gift cards, but I did pick up look at these tiny little travel mugs. We love to go drive around and look at Christmas lights, pack cocoa or hot apple cider with us, and the kids have never had their own little travel mugs. We've usually just brought like paper cups and stuff. I also got Weston a new Yeti tumbler. The one that I've had for years and years finally broke, and so then I stole his. So I got him the new one. Should I wrap Weston's Yeti in the Grinch wrapping paper? Typically, if I'm going to give Weston something, unless it's very specifically from me, I will let the kids participate in the wrapping of it. So I'll probably save that for another time because it's fun for them to be able to do that. But speaking of Weston, Weston has had quite the year. Not only has he been so faithful to walk with me through the health stuff that I have been dealing with, he has had to pick up my slack when I'm hit with a migraine and completely incapacitated. He's driven me to doctor's appointments and a trip to the hospital, an ER visit, watched me go through a scary strip down in an ER, getting stuff stuck all over me, and it was kind of a traumatic moment for him. He's been strong through all of that. He was doing that while studying and working toward the next level of his electrician certification. And there was a time there when he was getting up at 3:30, 3:40 in the morning, heading off to work, which was a 2-hour commute, 3 hours with traffic on the way home. But in a full day with overtime sometimes, come home, spend time with his family. Some evenings spend time with the ministry that he helps with at our church, and then hit the books and study late into the night for this test that he took. He was running on very little sleep and quite frankly, a high stress work environment while juggling being a very involved father and then ministry commitments, which he has such a passion for. He works with our church's youth group and he's so good with the students. He has such a heart for ministering to them and serving them and loving them and just being there for them. So ministry has always been something that's really, really important to him and he's very involved in. Well, he was presented with the opportunity. It wasn't even on his radar. It wasn't even something that we had thought about or pursued at all. He had just finished and passed his tests to make it into the next level, and all career ambitions were pointing in that direction until someone at our church who was on staff approached him about the idea of coming on staff and working as the facilities director of our church's campus. It's multi-buildings. We are not mega church people, but there's quite a bit to manage, and it's absolutely a full-time job. In fact, there's also like a part-time assistant to this position. And the man who had been doing it for many years, I think over a decade, he's retiring now. He's that age. It's time to retire, and they planned to hire a new facilities director. And we knew it would be a cut in pay. He had been making it up through the levels of being an electrician, and that, of course, means higher pay as you go. And he felt very at peace, and then I felt very at peace because this was definitely a together sort of decision, not just something that Weston decided, but we discussed it and we prayed about it for a while. But we both felt very at peace with moving on to full-time ministry, working for what's essentially a nonprofit. It's expected that it's just simply not going to pay as much as a skilled trade. And that was okay. And we knew it would be okay. God has always provided for our needs. And there are just some things that money can't buy. And the fact of the matter is, our church is not very far from us. We are there multiple times a week already. We love serving there. We have friends and loved ones and family there. Weston and I have been a part of this church in some way since we met back in 1997. We had youth group and homeschool co-op and other events that we did with this church on this campus. We grew up together there. And so he applied for this job and he interviewed for the job and he got the job. And with it, he got a ridiculously short commute, like unreal. Weston was spending up to 6 hours a day on the road outside of work hours, Pare that down to 20 or 30 minutes a day, it's a dream come true. He's here so much more. We are with him so much more. He can be more involved with his family like he wants to be, more involved with his church and his ministry like he wants to be. He can use these electrician skills. They don't really have to hire an electrician anymore to take care of the projects around the church that requires one, because he is one. And he can work side jobs outside of his work at church. If he wants to pick up side jobs and stuff here and there, because he's a licensed electrician, a full-time ministry position, while also utilizing his construction, building, specialized trade skills, in addition to his heart for the Lord and for people and for seeing our church grow and thrive. It's like literally the perfect job for him. And he's doing so well. And his peers and his co-ministers absolutely love him. And the spring in his step and the extra energy that he has, the extra time that we get with him is just incredible. And it's just been such a gift. He got hired a while ago, and we've just kind of been working through this and experiencing it off camera and making the adjustment as a family. It has been quite the adjustment, and we're doing great. I keep going back to the whole, if you would have told me a year ago, like when I was doing this gift wrapping on my bedroom floor a year ago, well, first of all, the walls were 90s almond white with 20 years of stains on them. So I'm glad we were able to do the bedroom remodel. But I would have heard any one of these changes that happened in our life this year, from the biggest family relationships that are restored and huge change of job and career path, down to the small changes like getting a puppy, or any of the little developmental things that we've seen our kids go through. I had a kiddo fully grasp learning to read this year, and it has been such a triumph. That's the thing that makes me cry. My gosh. And I want to encourage you, if there is a situation in your life, maybe it's a job, career, marriage, family relationships, your kids struggling in school, someone struggling to learn how to read. Maybe you sat today in an emergency room with an overzealous preteen boy awaiting the tetanus shot booster. I want you to know, and I've shared this year, God is interested in even the minute details of our life. And I don't know where this video finds you today, where you come from, what faith background you have, and I acknowledge that we're not all in the same place, but I would be completely remiss if I didn't give glory where it's due, and that is to the Lord for his hand on our life. The fact that I'm even sitting here giving this update, any one of these things that I've updated you with, these breakthroughs and these changes in our life, is enough to floor me. We experienced all of them this year. Going into 2025, Lord, I could use a little break, a little breather, just to kind of get the room that's spinning around us so quickly and all the change that's happening, to just kind of let it settle down and settle into place. There's more in our life that happened that I didn't mention in this video because there's just simply not enough time, and there are a lot of things that we do keep private, but that was what was on my heart today to share with you as I got some Christmas presents wrapped up. Oh, my battery died. I was in the middle of sharing with you how grateful I am for you guys and for this channel and for this community and for this opportunity through content creation to help provide for our family. It means the world to us. It always has. We've never taken it for granted. And it means so much to us now more than ever. It has allowed us to have Weston wholeheartedly, without reservation, take this job and peacefully, joyfully transition into full-time ministry. What a dream come true for our family. I wish Weston was here with me because we have talked about this so much, and I know he would want me to extend his gratitude as well. You guys are the best, and we are so, so very thankful for your love and support, not just in this last year, but in the last, it will now be 11 years that I've been on YouTube in January. Here's to the next 11. January also marks 5 years that I have pursued and learned about and implemented minimalism in our home. And I'm actually planning a video probably for January to kind of mark that occasion. Maybe it'll be like 5 things I've learned in 5 years of minimalism. Would you like to see that? Let me know in the comments. Until then, I'm wishing you a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. I hope it's wonderful for you and yours, and I will see you in January. I don't know the exact date. I'm taking an extended break because Mama needs a break. But I'm excited to bring you more encouragement, gentle motivation, camaraderie, friendship, just a person to hang out with in the new year. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Thanks so much for spending a little part of it here with me on my channel, and I'll catch you later.